Billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the N.G.L.A podcast, man. Before we start, man, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, because you know every single time I drop a video, y'all will get notified. So today, man, we're going to talk about a few things, man. We'll talk about the delusional Democrats, and we're going to talk about. I'm a little late on reporting. I've been real bit busy these last couple of days, but I wanted to talk about the interview that Hegseth had with the news media, and we gonna get into that video. But before we start, give me 1 second. Try to make sure all of this is running smooth. Be having these stupid difficulties with this channel sometimes, but all right, we back. So we gonna talk about Hegseth, and it's a must watch. It's a must watch interview. I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw it, but if you didn't, we gonna see it again. And I want to get straight into it. And we also I've been telling y'all, man, how delusional that these people, how delusional that these Democrat people are. So I've been wanting to show. It's a guy's name is his name is James Klug, and that's his channel name, James Klug. So go check him out and give him a subscribe and a follow. He basically goes in the streets to these protests and different events that these Democrats be having. And he just he real polite, nice. He doesn't come off aggressive or ignorant or anything like that. He just wants to ask some questions. He really genuinely wants to know, like, what you're protesting for. He reads your sign, stuff like that, and then asks you questions. And I just wanted to show this because it goes to show you how delusional that these people truly are, and that a lot of them are just bought and paid for. And they truly don't really care about, they either don't care or they're really not a part, they're just a part of it for a check. You know, I showed y'all the video before where the guy said that he was offered $200 a day to go out and protest, man. So they all they do is they prey on the poor, and they know people struggling. So they offer people $200 a day and they go out and they protest and they act like they care. But so we're gonna get into that video too. And also, they looking to pass this one big beautiful bill, and obviously, you know that the Democrats are going to try to block the bill. This is what they do. They having I think it's 20 hours, right? I believe as we speak, they're having a what's going on? So as we speak, they having a whole situation on the one big beautiful bill where they argue and debate about why it should pass and why it shouldn't pass and all of that. But just think, right? All of these steps to get to this bill, and it already passed through the House. So now it has to pass through the Senate, and then it goes to Donald Trump. If it passed, I look at it like, man, it already passed. It already passed through the House. But that's what they do. They wait till it gets all the way right there, and then they want to put it try to put a stop to it, man. It's ridiculous, man. These people, and my biggest thing is, and the reason why I talk about this, outside of the fact that it's a big topic and it's big right now. Politics is big. People are getting into it. People, which is a good thing, because think about for how many years people actually didn't give two shits about politics, right? And all of these laws and things that are passed on a daily, every year, people don't know about it, and we just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, it may be some good, but a lot of it is just bad, or it's just things that don't benefit us at all, and may benefit other countries, or as you've seen everything that was going on with the illegal immigration. And they're mad, man. They're mad because Donald Trump is winning. The Supreme Court just passed also, basically, all of them judges that were doing these nationwide injunctions against Donald Trump's administration, trying to stop him from deporting illegal immigration, the birthright citizenship, and also giving Social Security to illegal immigrants. So Donald Trump just basically won all of them in the Supreme Court. So right now, literally, all of the illegal immigrants that was getting Social Security and taxpayer-free money from the government is no longer getting it anymore. So that's good news, man. That's more money that can go to things that actually do benefit the American people. And so let's get into this video with Pete Hegseth. This was a good one.
Bring us to the topic of the moment, the highly successful strikes in Iran. Let me read the bottom line here. President Trump directed the most complex and secretive military operation in history, and it was a resounding success, resulting in a ceasefire agreement and the end of the 12-day war. There's been a lot of discussion about what happened and what didn't happen. Step back for a second. Because of decisive military action, President Trump created the conditions to end the war, decimating, choose your word, obliterating, destroying Iran's nuclear capabilities. I want to read some of the assessments that have been provided, because whether it's fake news, CNN, MSNBC, or the New York Times, there's been fawning coverage of a preliminary assessment. I've had a chance to read it. Every outlet has breathlessly reported on a preliminary assessment from DIA. I'm looking at it right now. Again, it was preliminary, a day and a half after the actual strike, when it admits itself in writing that it requires weeks to accumulate the necessary data to make such an assessment. It's preliminary. It points out that it's not been coordinated with the intelligence community at all. There's low confidence in this particular report. It says in the report there are gaps in the information. It says in the report multiple linchpin assumptions are what this assessment, a linchpin assumption, you know what that is? That means your entire premise is predicated on a linchpin. If you're wrong, everything else is wrong. And yet, still, this report acknowledges it's likely severe damage. Again, this is preliminary, but leaked because someone had an agenda to try to muddy the waters and make it look like this historic strike wasn't successful. I'm going to get to the chairman in a moment because he's going to lay out the particulars for you based on his professional military experience. But here's what other folks are saying. The DIA that put that report out says this is a preliminary low-confidence report and will continue to be refined as additional intelligence becomes available. How about the Israeli Atomic Energy Commission? The devastating U.S. strikes on Fordow destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility inoperable. Have any of these quotes made their way into the New York Times or the Washington Post? MSNBC? CNN? Any of these quotes? How about this one? This is a new one from the UN, the United Nations. No friend of the United States, or certainly Israel often. Here's the head of the UN Atomic Energy Agency this morning, Rafael Grossi. U.S. and Israeli strikes caused enormous damage to Iran's nuclear sites. Don't take my word for it. How about the IDF's chief of staff? I can say here that the assessment is that we significantly damaged the nuclear program, setting it back by years. I repeat, years. The Iranian foreign minister, the spokesman, our nuclear installations have been badly damaged, that's for sure. I'm sure that's an understatement. John Radcliffe, the director of the CIA, putting out a statement just last night. CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged by recent targeted strikes. This includes new intelligence from a historically reliable, very different than preliminary assessment with low confidence. He's saying historically reliable and accurate source and method that several key Iranian nuclear facilities were destroyed and would have to be rebuilt over the course of years. CIA continues to collect additional reliably sourced information to keep appropriate decision makers fully informed. How about DNI Tulsi Gabbard yesterday? She writes, and I quote, "New intelligence confirms what POTUS has stated numerous times. Iran's nuclear facilities have been destroyed." Institute for Science and International Security President David Albright, overall, Israel and U.S. attacks have effectively destroyed Iran's centrifuge enrichment program. Time and time again, I can go down the list, those that understand, those that see, those that do proper assessments recognize that what the United States military did was historic. And again, before I pass it to the chairman, because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful. How many stories have been written about how hard it is to, fly a plane for 36 hours? Has MSNBC done that story? Has Fox? Have we done the story how hard that is? Have we done it 2 or 3 times so that American people understand? How about how difficult it is to shoot a drone from an F-15 or 16 or F-22 or F-35? Or what it's like to man a Patriot battery? Or how hard it is to refuel midair, giving the American people an understanding of how complex and sophisticated this mission really was. There are so many aspects of what our brave men and women did that, because of the hatred of this press corps, are undermined because your people are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible. And folks in this room are privy to that information because of the proximity here in the Pentagon. It's an important responsibility. And time again, classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad. And what's really happening is you're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots and incredible F-35 pilots and incredible refuelers and incredible air defenders who accomplished their mission, set back a nuclear program in ways that other presidents would have dreamed. How about we celebrate that? How about we talk about how special America is, that only we have these capabilities? I think it's too much to ask, unfortunately, for the fake news. So we're used to that. But we also have an opportunity to stand.
And Trump got everybody calling them fake news. It's the truth though, man. Like they literally, now mind you, I'm not with none of the war stuff. I think it's always and it's gonna be unnecessary. I mean, unless you truly getting invaded and you gotta go to war. It is what it is. But it seems like this whole Iran and Israel war with the whole Russia, Ukraine, it's all just for no reason. And they just need to chill with all that war shit. But I guess, these people that build these weapons and shit like that, they gotta make their money, I guess, right? But and the cost of life. So I ain't with none of that war shit. And it seems like, I don't know, man, you know, another thing that I don't like is, you know, I respect people's religion and whatnot, but it seems like I really don't like how they spin the whole narrative on Muslims. I really don't, because Islam is a beautiful religion, and it seems like every time I see, you know, guys talk about the Middle East, they want to talk about how the women don't have rights and all of these different things. When you go and ask these Muslim women about Islam, about how they live, they love the way they live, you know, and but you know, a lot of people, honestly, it's just ignorance, to be honest, because they really don't know. They don't know about Islam. Most people, especially here in America, people see Islam as see Muslims as terrorists and things like that, you know, and people joke about it, but it's really not funny, to be honest. And they did, and they talk about what's hilarious, because I don't want to get into the religion, but what's hilarious is a lot of people have their opinions on Islam, and especially about what the rights that women have and don't have, but yet, you know, they don't even follow their own religion and what their own Bible says about Islam. But, you know, I think people should just respect all religions and take religion out of it, because really it's just a few people who are extremists, and they use the religion to do the things that they do, you know, and they try to do it in the name of Allah, and it's just not right, you know. But Pete Hegseth is right, man. These people do not care about America. They want to spin every single time Donald Trump does anything, they're going to spin it, and they're going to do it with every single thing, and it's just sad, because the American people are the ones who lose out, because you're not getting real accurate information. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the video.
At the podium and read the truth of what's really happening. And the reality is, you want to call it destroyed, you want to call it defeated, you want to call it obliterated, choose your word. This was an historically successful attack, and we should celebrate it as Americans, and it gives us a chance to have peace, chance to have a deal, and an opportunity to prevent a nuclear Iran, which is something President Trump talked about for 20 years, and no other presidents had the courage to actually do. So with that, I want to hand it over to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. They've done technical analysis on this, not just on the strike, but also on our patriot defenders, on al-Udeid. And Mr. Chairman, I'll hand it over to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, and all of you. Thank you for being here. As a follow-up to my comments on Sunday's press conference, I wanted to give you a few updates this morning on something I'm honored to do as a chairman, and that's a chance to get to talk about some of our service members and the incredible things that they do on behalf of our nation. And I apologize ahead of time for the length and the detail. Today, I'm going to brief you on a couple things. First, I'm going to talk about our air defenders at al-Udeid in Qatar and their actions on Monday. Then I'm going to walk you through a little bit about the academics that went into the attack.
I'm going to fast forward this a little bit.
General, on Sunday you said final battle damage will take some time. And you also said, I think BDA is still pending, and it would be way too early for me to comment on what may or may not still be there at the nuclear facility. So that was just over 3 days ago. So what has changed?
They framed questions.
Would you use the term obliterated as well?
Sure, like I said, we don't do BDA. I'll refer that to the intelligence community. And
you're talking with them. I mean, what changed in the past 3 days that make you so, you know?
Sir, I think I
I mean, I think I explained what changed. There was a great deal of irresponsible reporting based on leaks, preliminary information in low confidence. Again, when someone leaks something, they do it with an agenda. And when you leak a portion of an intelligence assessment, but just a little portion that makes it seem like maybe the strike wasn't effective, then you start a news cycle, whether it's the Washington Post or Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, you start a news cycle that starts to call into question the efficacy. No, that's why. So you bring the chairman here, who's not involved in politics. He doesn't do politics. That's my lane to understand and translate and talk about those types of things. So I can use the word obliterated. He could use defeat, destroyed, assess, all of those things. But ultimately, we're here to clarify what these weapons are capable of, which anyone with, two eyes, some ears, and a brain can recognize that kind of firepower with that specificity at that location and others is going to have a devastating effect. So we all recognize there will be days and weeks ahead. That's why yesterday I said, if you want to know what's going on at Fort O, you better go there and get a big shovel, because no one's under there right now. No one's under there able to assess, and everyone's using reflections of what they see. And that's why the Israelis, the Iranians, the IAEA, the UN, to a man and to a woman who recognize the capability of this weapon system, are acknowledging how destructive it's been. So that's what's changed.
Just 3 or 4 days later. What
See, this is a point. This is how difficult it is to actually manage. You just watched a video of what this weapon is capable of. That's where we find our confidence, is in the skill of men and women and the capability of the systems they employed, and the recognition so far in the reflections that it was a highly successful mission.
Sure, I think you could, I'd say go out, the IC should be able to help you answer that question. They look at a variety, as the Secretary has alluded to, we look at a variety of things. I don't do that, they do. All different sources of intel, which I'd refer you to them to get clarity on the end state.
So again, I go back to the IC, whether it's Director Radcliffe or ODNI Gabbard. I read the statements at the beginning. They're the ones aggregating the intelligence, and they're saying nuclear facilities were destroyed and would have to be rebuilt over a number of years. Facilities were destroyed. What do we got right here?
Sir, you cited a body of credible intelligence.
Yo, they don't want to hear it, bro. They want him to say something so they can make some clickbait. But they don't. He literally is saying it over and over again, and instead of them accepting it for what he's saying, he's giving them reports. I think he said Gabbard, so that's Tulsi Gabbard, I believe, right? Who was part of the national. I believe she's part of the national security. So he's saying that he's giving them the intel, but they don't want to accept it for what it is. It's crazy.
To suggest the damage at Fort O and other places. What is that referring to, and when can we see it?
I was reading from the CIA director's statement, which came out last night. CIA, again, they do the BDA, they do the assessment. CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates, it also goes on to say, new intelligence from historically reliable and accurate sources and methods. Now, you can imagine the CIA director is going to be very careful about how he articulates things of that sensitivity. Classified, secret, top secret, compartmentalized. He's going to know things that you're not going to know, that the press isn't going to know, and he's reflecting that the sources he's seeing are highly credible. They've given credible intelligence. They or those processes have given credible intelligence in the past, and that's what he's basing it on.
Don't you think we need to see that?
Do you have a top secret clearance, sir?
Eventually,
Okay.
the American public wants
Yes,
to see
sir.
it.
Yes.
It's about to get good.
I wanted to ask briefly just
No, not you. Checkered shirt.
So Mike Glenn with the Washington Times.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. Anybody who's ever read a Battalion S2 report after a fight knows that the initial report is usually wrong, sometimes grossly so. Has what happened in this incident caused y'all to sort of rethink the intelligence process or the dissemination, or do you think it's just if the process itself doesn't require any more adjustment?
Well, I can tell you what the chairman told me in the Situation Room and reminded us all, which is alongside what you just said, sir, is that the first reports are almost always wrong. They're almost always incomplete, right? Anything, whether it's a squad level operation or a strategic level operation, the initial reflections you get are coming at you at a high rate of speed from a lot of different sources. So your job is to step back and assess them. And that's why we're urging caution about premising entire stories on biased leaks to biased publications trying to make something look bad. How about we take a beat, recognize first the success of our warriors, hold them up, tell their stories, celebrate that, wave an American flag, be proud of what we accomplished. And in the meantime, I can assure you, the chairman and his staff, the intelligence community, our staff and others are doing all the assessments necessary to make sure that mission was indeed successful. Yes, right there.
Sir, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Iran has recognized that their nuclear program was indeed severely damaged, but they also said that the U.S. strikes only strengthened their ability and their determination to complete their nuclear program. How do you respond to that, sir? Is that a provocation from Iran?
Well, I would say Iran's going to have to say a lot of things right now in order to bolster their image, especially internally. You know, in the media, there's a lot of things they'll say for domestic consumption. But we're watching very closely what they do. Again, that's the intel community. Our job as the chairman, the chairman laid it out so beautifully. Our job is to be prepared. And how proud are you? How proud am I? I didn't know the full story of those men and women 15 years ago who've been pointing at that target. That makes me proud to be an American. That's an awesome story. I hope we can tell more aspects of that in an unclassified way in the future. That's a great thing to know. Our job is to be prepared when the commander-in-chief calls based on those assessments. So, of course, our IC, the Intelligence Committee, will keep watching what Iran does and pay attention to that. But the president has created the contours, the opportunity for a deal, for peace, in something that the world said was intractable, that wasn't possible. And we got that peace, that ceasefire, that option, because of strength, because of his willingness to use American military might that no one else on the planet can do with the kind of planners and operators that the chairman just laid out. Yes, sir. Right there. Yep.
Me, sir? Just a quick question. There's public imagery available saying that highly enriched uranium was moved out of Fordo before the strikes. Is that accurate? Have you seen that? And Mr. Chairman, a question for you. Have you been pressured to change your assessment or give a more rosy intelligence assessment to us by any political factors, whether it's the president or the secretary? And if you were, would you do that?
Yeah, well, that one's easy. No. No, I have not, and no, I would not. My job as the chairman is to offer a range of options to the president and the National Command Authority to deliver the risk.
That's not the question, though. It's about highly enriched uranium. Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance? Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect. But, Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally what the president says. I'm familiar.
I report about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night. And in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here, and I appreciate that. So we're looking at all aspects of intelligence and making sure we have a sense of what was where.
Why not acknowledge the female pilots that also participated in this mission? The early messages that you sent out only congratulated the boys.
So when I say something like our boys and bombers, see, this is the kind of thing the press does, right? Of course, the chairman mentioned a female bomber pilot. That's fantastic. She's fantastic. She's a hero. I want more female bomber pilots. I hope the men and women of our country sign up to do such brave and audacious things. But when you spin it as, because I say our boys and bombers as a common phrase, I'll keep saying things like that, whether they're men or women. I'm very proud of that female pilot, just like I'm very proud of those male pilots. And I don't care if it's a male or a female in that cockpit, and the American people don't care. But it's the obsession with race and gender in this department that's changed priorities. We don't do that anymore. We don't play your little games. Yes, right there.
The uranium was removed from the facility before the B-2 struck.
So I'm not aware of any intelligence that I've reviewed that says things were not where they were supposed to be, moved or otherwise. Yes.
Kelly Meyer with News Nation, and just off the top, want to say we're grateful for the service of these pilots and everybody that serves. I wanted to ask you, the CIA statement said, when possible, they will provide updates and information to the public for transparency, and I believe that's what we're looking for here. Do you commit to share the Defense Intelligence Agency report when it is ready, so the American people can understand more about the intelligence assessment?
Well, actually, the report that was discussed, this preliminary report, was what's called a restrike report. So it comes to us to give us an assessment whether a target would need to be restruck, right? That's the reason why. So it's based on internal feedback loop that we're supposed to have access to. Unfortunately, someone took advantage of that. But whatever is supposed to be made public will be, but whatever has to stay sensitive.
Sir, can I just jump in? You know,
Yeah, man, these people are delusional, bro. And it's so crazy, bro. Like they don't care, bro. They don't care. They just want to find something so they can, have some clickbait on the 6 o'clock news. And he right though. You gotta understand, women started getting into the military not too long ago. So for years, that's how they talk. When he was in the military, when Pete Hegseth was in the military, probably wasn't too many women in the military. So at the end of the day, that's how he's used to talking. And like, bro, like out of all the things to report on or to ask questions of, they ask that. Why you don't talk about the women? Like, come, bro. Like, these people are ridiculous, man. But anyway, man, it's just fake news, bro. And I just want people. Everybody is exposing these people, man. They're exposing them, and they should expose them, bro, because these people are ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't understand why they do what they do. I don't see how it benefits them, and they're reporting, because at some point you got to understand. At some point, everybody is going to get fed up with the lies, and you see it all the time. I just seen I might, if we have time, I might play a clip of his name Doc Rich, and he posted a video. I watched the video yesterday actually, and he posted a video of just a lot of people, including people who were former Democrats, who are just fed up with the lies, all of the spinning that they do with every single thing that's going on. So that's why their ratings are low. Their ratings are low because nobody's watching them. Everybody's, bro, a lot of people, I know a lot of people I talk to and deal with, they don't get their news from any of these news stations, not even Fox. And mind you, Fox, I would say, is one of the few who actually reports accurate information. Well, at least like Sean Hannity and Jesse Waters, I fuck with them. They're going to give you accurate information about what's going on. So let's get into so like I said in the beginning, right now they are debating, they do all of this extra shit to pass a bill, like 20 hours to debate, to basically convince either side that they should or shouldn't vote for the one big beautiful bill. And listen, Trump said it. They said that, I believe that because basically the tax cut that he had during his first presidency, right, is about to end, basically. So I guess it's a timetable on these certain bills that get passed, right? So you figure so when they passed that, it was about 10 years ago. So that's about to be up. And that's why they're doing everything to pass this one big beautiful bill, because it would basically be a continuation of the tax cuts that he already had. But from what I understand it's going to be permanent. So who doesn't want tax cuts? Who doesn't want to pay? Who wants to have more money in their pockets, bro? Everybody, including these delusional Democrats. Everybody, bro. You know, they'll complain. Trump said he was going to lower grocery prices on day one, right? And now he's lowering grocery prices, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time for things to kick in, for all of these jobs that's coming into America, all the money that's coming into America. It's going to take time. You know what I'm saying? He just reported that I think they had from the tariffs, they just received, I think it was anywhere between 40 and 80 billion dollars this past month. So things are happening, but it's not going to happen overnight, bro. When Trump says that, when he says anything like that, which I don't remember him saying that he was going to lower grocery prices on day one. I know he said he was going to stop the Ukraine-Russia war on day one. But obviously when he says that, it's an expression. It's an expression to let you know that I'm serious about stopping this or ending this, or for, you know, when he was talking about the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, like he said he was going to get it done, and it's just going to take time, bro, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with two separate countries who hate each other. And, you know, it sounds easy, but when you're, you know, trying to convince this side to, listen, just let him have this, or whatever the case may be, whatever the negotiations are, it's hard, bro. It's hard. So, you know, it took 4 years to get where we at. Joe Biden fucked everybody over literally for years. And now if this bill doesn't pass, everybody's going to pay more money. This is going to hurt people. This is going to hurt the American people. You know what I mean? So this bill has to pass. Who doesn't want more money in their pocket, bro? I don't get it. And it's so crazy that the fate of, you know, how much taxes I pay when I go to work, and the average American has to pay when they go to work, is all depending on a few people who don't give a shit about you, bro. They don't care about you. They literally don't. Most of the things that they want to pass and put through benefits a lot of these big corporations. Yes, it does, right? And you got a president who already made his fortune, who doesn't need the taxpayer money, didn't need his salary, which he gave to charity, which I don't believe any other president ever did. So everything that he's doing is, and you got to understand, he's a businessman. So he understands business. So everything he's doing is going to benefit Americans. He's not trying to benefit China. Does he want to do fair trade with China? Of course. But he's not trying to benefit them more than he's trying to benefit his own people. And that's why a lot of people voted for Donald Trump, because they're getting tired of having to shell out billions of dollars to illegal immigrants, billions of dollars to Ukraine to help them fight a lost cause. It's ridiculous, man. But let's get into this video. These fucking N.G.L.A ass news anchors who's reporting on Donald Trump and the one big beautiful bill.
Now to the drama and all-nighter on Capitol Hill. The Senate narrowly advancing President Trump's so-called big beautiful bill, but much more work is ahead.
Like off the rip, right? You know this. Now, mind you, they claim not to be biased, but the first thing that you fix your lips to say is the so-called beautiful bill, one big beautiful bill. So that already goes to show you the bias that they have against Donald Trump already. And this is supposed to be a unbiased, bipartisan news station who's reporting on what's going on in America. Like, they ridiculous.
Ahead to get the tax cut and spending bill across the finish line. And one Republican senator is feeling the pressure after opposing the legislation. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien back on Capitol Hill tonight.
Tonight, on the eve of a marathon series of votes on President Trump's so-called big beautiful bill, a stunning twist. One of the bill's most outspoken GOP opponents drawing Trump's ire and announcing he will not run for re-election. Senator Tom Tillis, one of 2 Republicans who voted against advancing Trump's signature bill last night, writing his decision not to seek a 3rd term is not a hard choice. Just hours earlier, Trump blasting the GOP senator for his opposition to the legislation in a lengthy social media post, threatening to support primary challengers against him and saying he made a big mistake for America. Tillis concerned over the bill's proposed cuts to Medicaid, now warning that lawmakers who embrace bipartisanship and independence are, quote, becoming an endangered species. Following a standstill on the Senate floor, Trump's mega bill finally inching forward, clearing a key procedural hurdle just before midnight after one GOP opponent, Senator Ron Johnson, flipped from no to yes.
3211 of the National Nuclear Security Administration Act.
Democrats lacking the numbers to block Trump's agenda, delaying the final vote in the Senate by forcing a reading of the entire roughly 1,000-page bill all night long. It took more than 15 hours. Once adamant he wants...
Bro. What? Bro, this is what they do, bro. It's crazy. What? You had to read the entire... Bro, like, my whole thing is this. It's going to pass. It's going to pass, bro. Because people understand that Donald Trump has the power, bro. He has the power, and he has the power to make it to where you don't get reelected, bro. And the midterms is coming up, and people are definitely trying to act right because they want to get reelected, bro. Best believe, man, these people make really good money, and most of them don't do shit in their state. They don't do shit in their state, bro. Like, I'm actually, at the end of this video, towards the end of this video, I actually want to Google the accomplishments of some of these people, bro. Like Jasmine Crockett, who claims she's like, yeah, past couple of days, she actually just, because she was trying to, I believe, be the head of some committee, and she got voted dead last. She didn't win. She lost. And that's good for her.
The bill passed by July 4th, Trump now acknowledging that may not be possible.
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you that. If we're 2 days late or 5 days late, everybody says, oh, he had a tremendous failure. Whatever it is, as long as we have it. It's very important.
The centerpiece of the president's legislative agenda, the bill includes roughly $4 trillion in tax cuts and fulfills some key campaign promises like no taxes on tips and overtime. Republicans trying to cover the cost with cuts to programs like Medicaid, leading to an estimated 11.8 million Americans potentially losing their health coverage over the next decade, and by slashing Biden-era clean energy incentives.
Now, mind you, these cuts that they're talking about, right? The cuts are, first of all, getting all these illegal immigrants off of Medicaid. That's the cuts that they're talking about. Also, in order to get these benefits, right? He basically is saying that able-bodied people, because when they say this stuff, right, they make it seem like it's going to affect every single person that's on Medicaid, when it's not. It's literally going to affect the people that should be working. Meaning, if you're a grown-ass man and you're able-bodied, such as myself, and you're not working, and you can be working, you have a certain amount of time and your ass is getting off, because it's a lot of money that's being wasted on a bunch of bums who don't want to work, who don't want to take care of their family, and they don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be on Medicaid. They don't deserve to get free. Why should I have, and this is this shit that blow my shit. Why should I have to bust my ass, right, and work very hard, right? Even with medical insurance, right? I pay for my medical insurance, right? And I got my son on my medical insurance, and I pay for it. I work hard. But yet, when I go to the doctors, I got to pay a copay. I got to pay for medication if I need it. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay even though I pay into my health insurance. Meanwhile, if you're on Medicaid, right, you get to go to the doctors for free. You get to get certain procedures. I may have better coverage. I may be able to get a procedure that you may not be able to get. Maybe. Who knows? But all I know is most people that, they're going to the doctors, it's not for life-threatening situations. And they're getting free doctor's visits, free medication, free everything, while people like me, because I work hard, have to pay, which is fine. I'm cool with paying. But why should I have to go pay a copay when I go see the doctor? It's ridiculous. I think the system is backwards, to be honest. And I think what he's doing is good. These are all things, all of these cuts are going to go to areas that is needed. So you take it from the illegal immigrants who shouldn't even be on it, right? You take it from the bums who don't want to work and do what they got to do, so they can be, so they can get health insurance through their company. You know what I mean? Like I do. And that's what you need to do. Everybody needs to stop playing the victim because you're black or Latino or white. It doesn't fucking matter what color you are. A lot of different races are on. I seen videos of chicks bragging that they was on welfare getting $4,000 in food stamps. Bitch, I wish I can get $4,000 in food stamps. And this bitch mad because they cut her off because somebody told on her dumb ass. That's what you get for bragging about it. But she getting $4,000 in food stamps. Meanwhile, she driving around in a 2023 fucking Beamer. And people that are out here working their ass off, getting to a bag, and they just getting by, living check to check. But you got a lot of people, bro. I know people personally that was taking advantage of the system. Now, my whole thing is, I'm all for taking advantage of the system until you able to get on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I came home from prison, I was on welfare. I said, fuck that, I need everything. And I went and got food stamps, I went and got cash assistance and all that. And I took advantage of it until I got a job. And then I let them know I worked, and they took me off of it. Cool, fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to a bag now. I'm good. But I appreciated the help when I needed it, when I came home from prison. That's what welfare should be for. That's what it's for. It's for people that are coming home from prison or re-entering society who don't have nothing. And, they're able to get some food. They're able to, maybe even get help with getting some housing. That's what it's for. It's not for illegal immigrants. It's not for bum-ass niggas and bum-ass bitches who want to be on welfare for 35 years and pay fucking $200 in rent and be having all the newest shit. Because they ain't supposed to have no man in the crib, but best believe they do. And that's just the reality of it, man. I ain't hating on nobody to take advantage of the system, do what you do. But don't be mad when Donald Trump say, look, we ain't doing that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing it no more. So fuck them.
Like solar panel tax credits, vital to small businesses like Micah Gold Markel's in Philadelphia. Some of his employees voted for Trump, he says.
And I'm concerned that we would have to have the size of our company.
We're talking about 30 jobs.
We're talking about 30 jobs. That's right. I mean, it hurts to say that.
Billionaire Elon Musk, meanwhile, once again bashing the bill, concerned about nonpartisan estimates that it would add more than $3 trillion to the national debt, and calling cuts to wind and solar initiatives, quote, utterly insane and destructive.
Jay O'Brien joins us now from the Capitol. Jay, we're hearing late word from President Trump tonight with a new warning for any more Republicans who would oppose this bill. What's he saying?
Yeah, Lindsay, after that surprise announcement from Tillis, President Trump delivering a message to any hardline Republicans who might oppose the spending in this bill, warning, remember, quote, you still have to get reelected. Don't go too crazy. Senate Majority Leader John Thune can only afford to lose 3 Republicans on that final vote, expected to drag well into tomorrow. And if it gets out of the Senate, this bill will have to go back to the House, where the original version only passed by a single vote. Lindsay.
Jay, thank you.
Boy, oh boy, these people. Meanwhile, it's hilarious because, take this off real fast. It's hilarious because when I didn't see all of this bashing and going against Joe Biden. They wasn't doing it. They wasn't doing it at all. They wasn't going against Joe Biden. They wasn't. They was literally. They was loving everything Joe Biden was doing, even though everything that he was doing was literally not beneficial to America whatsoever. And all of them billions and billions and billions of dollars that was wasted on all this illegal immigrant shit so they could come in here and vote for the Democrats because they wanted to stay in power for fucking 900 years. All of that wasted money. And now Trump is trying to propose something. And listen, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. But at least this bill is something that is benefit. It's gonna have pros and cons. It's pros and cons to everything in life. So is there some things that are going to be good and great? Yes, and some things might not be as good. And that's when you work it out. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that's how Donald Trump is looking at it. Like, look, let's just pass it. Let's worry about that shit when we get there. You know what I mean? If we got to tweak some shit and make some changes so that way it's better for the American people, then we'll do that. But right now we need it passed, because if it doesn't get passed, then we go back to, I think he said like a 68% hike in tax. So who the fuck wants to pay 60? Bro, that's a lot of money, man. I already hate the fact of how much I pay already in taxes. And the no tax on overtime, people don't understand how beneficial that is to the average worker out here, man. Especially, people that work in jobs where you can get overtime. Yeah, just that one thing alone, man, is going to put so much more money in people's pockets. You know what I mean? But what they're doing is they care about, and it's funny because it's all projection. They sit there and be like, oh, Donald Trump only wants to look out for the billionaires and all of that, right? Because they went from millionaires to billionaires, whatever. But he wants to look out for them. But really it's them that want to look out for. That's why the No Kings, all the No Kings protests, one of the people that was basically funding it was Christy Walton. She was part of she's the hire of Walmart, the daughter, and she helped funded the No Kings protests that were going on all around the nation, and that's one of the biggest companies. Walmart is one of the biggest companies. I was just at Walmart today. They one of the biggest ones. You know what I mean? I fuck with Walmart, but at the same time, it's all greed, bro. And greed to get you killed. People and the shit that they do, the shit that these Democrats are doing is all for the sake of themselves and these big corporations. Donald Trump is trying to do any and everything to help benefit the American people. And until people realize that, they're going to just keep being delusional out here protesting about a bunch of nothing. But speaking about protesting, right, this guy, his name is James Klug. Make sure y'all go to his channel and subscribe to his channel. This guy, he goes out into the into the foxhole and motherfucking to these Democrat protests and things like that. So what I did was I went to his channel and I pulled up the best of it's the best of 2024. So this all like videos from not too long ago, all meshed together, and he's talking to these Democrat people and asking them questions, because they'll be like, why basically like, why don't you like Donald Trump, or why don't you like a certain thing that Donald Trump is doing, like, or is there anything that Donald Trump did that you think is good or beneficial to America? And they'll be like, no, he's a rapist, he's a Nazi, he's this and that. And he'll just be like, okay, well, explain, like you're saying this, but explain to me why you feel that way. And they never, bro, all they do, they either walk away because they feel stupid that they're wrong, or they just say a bunch of dumb shit that just is not true. You know what I mean? And I like his videos because even sometimes he'll even like, show you the proofs to what he's talking about outside of what he's just saying. He'll show you it. You know what I mean? So that shit is cool. But let's get into this. This shit is actually funny as hell.
CBP border arrests by year. We have red as Donald Trump's years, blue is Joe Biden's years. Obviously, there's a major difference between those two numbers. What changed?
What changed?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. You give me some statistics and things to look at. I'm not sure where your information is.
I would actually have to see the sources for this data because I have no idea.
Totally reasonable.
From.
Do you want me to pull it up right now on CBP so you can see a couple of those?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Your numbers are wrong, and I'm Biden all the way.
Right on. And do you mind if I show you the Border Patrol numbers on my phone? No? Makes sense.
I said my position.
Well, I'm just showing you the facts. These are just the numbers.
That's not the facts. That's a chart. Who knows where you got that chart? I don't know where you got the chart.
I got it from Customs and Border Protection.
So you say. But anyway, I told you what I thought. Trump was an ass.
Okay.
Biden's good.
Back to Joy Behar. I mean, saying might as well just...
Hey, bro, they don't, like... He said he got his information from the actual Border Patrol. They don't want to hear it, bro.
A swastika on your MAGA hat.
Well, she can say whatever she wants. Trump says what he wants.
Right.
So,
do you see Trump as being a Nazi?
I see him as a dictator.
Yeah.
A dictator.
What about him do you see as being kind of a...
But like, notice, right? This dude James is real. He's real respectful. He ain't like all, argumentative or nothing. If you don't want to talk, you just spin off and like go to the next person.
A dictator.
Because he's trying to get control over a woman's body.
Okay.
That's the main thing. The women should all vote for Biden.
Abortion's a big one, a big topic for you, though. That's important to you, making sure that we're just wiping those babies out. What is the swastika, Nazi swastika?
Oh, no, I gotta go back a little bit because, like, bro, he just be dead serious. He be genuinely, like, trying to understand these people's position, bro. But, like...
And should all vote for Biden.
Abortion's a big one, a big topic for you, though. That's important to you, making sure that we're just wiping those babies out.
Yeah, that motherfucker looked at him like, he said, just make sure we wiping them out. But it's the truth. It's the truth, bro. He's in there saying, like, so it's your position that we should just wipe them all out. He just looking like...
What is the swastika, Nazi swastika? What does that mean to you? What does it represent to you?
Hatred towards people that aren't like what you consider yourself to be. Like, so it's like believing that one class or one person or whatever, one way of being is better than others, and that other people that aren't like you should be eliminated.
Right. Obviously, it's pretty hardcore. I want to get to kind of the bottom of this when it comes to the drawing the comparison between what you just said right there, hatred of other people, eliminating them, to MAGA. Where do you draw the comparison there? When it comes to policy that Trump had during his presidency, or where do you draw the comparison?
I think more so not just necessarily in the Make America Great Again on his part, which I do believe that he has very strong beliefs that most people are below him and his people. But usually the people that are that diehard representing it have very strong views that relate to a lot of other things that would make me also believe that they agree with some things that would also be represented by somebody with a swastika.
Bro,
if that makes
what the
sense.
fuck
Anybody
are you
that's
talking
not
about?
what they've determined in his eyes is the higher class, the higher person. Men, white men, rich white men who are conservative Republicans.
Right.
So,
would you be against the idea of illegal immigrants voting?
No, they're here. I mean, they got a job.
Yeah.
They're important.
If you live here, you have a right to vote.
Would you have a problem if they were allowed to vote?
No, never. Everyone should have freedom of speech.
What?
So you don't think that
Bro.
they're bringing them into?
What the fuck is freedom, the right to vote and freedom of speech? What, they're not even the fucking same, bro. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
As voters, but you wouldn't have a problem with illegal
Yeah, I
immigrants
don't think-
voting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Biden took the week off to prepare for that debate. It was his rules that he set place for the debate. Does that disappoint you that he underperformed when it came to his rules and taking a week off from work to prepare?
Well, I think everybody who saw it were disappointed that he wasn't on point. Now, if you got a cold and you're raspy, and I mean, I don't know what you can do about that. I mean, that was part of it.
That was just a cold. Do you think it maybe his? That's why it was
No,
kind
I
of
think
he
it was a cold.
underperformed was because he had a cold.
Well, I think part of that was.
Even athletes have a bad day.
Right.
Give him a break.
Why do you think the underperformance when it comes to the energy during his debate?
I think he was
Boy,
on
he
cold
got the
drugs.
nipples out.
He was.
I'm an old man
he had a
myself.
cold.
Cold medicine?
He had a cold. He was coming out. He was
They
sick.
believe anything.
All right,
bro.
you guys, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Undertac. Now, they usually send me some talking points to go over, but I've got something else to say, so hopefully they don't mind. You guys have probably seen
Let's fast forward this.
T-shirts.
Yo, this shit be hilarious though. I'm not even.
They missed.
They missed.
They missed.
Do you?
He should have died. He's
Damn.
not good for this country, and he never will be.
Yo,
Ever.
bro,
He's the worst person
what?
that could be ever in politics. It's a false flag.
False flag.
Yeah, false flag.
People, somebody died.
Bro, they said that he should have died. Like, yo, that's crazy, bro. Bro, this is how like much hate that these people have in their hearts, bro, in general. Like, yo, this is one thing to not agree with somebody, but to like wish that like he was killed live on television, which that's what they was trying to do. They was trying to kill that nigga live on fucking TV.
Died and 2 people injured. What do you think
These
about
people
that?
are delusional as fuck.
False flag.
I thought it was magnificently
Notice, they just
staged.
wanna walk
it was
away.
professionally done.
Look.
It almost looked real.
Wait.
at this shit.
Staged by who?
Oh, by Mr. Trump, of course.
I think this whole thing is staged.
You think it was staged?
Yeah.
it depends on everybody's view. Yeah.
View of the assassination attempt? What do you think? Does it kind of depend on where you're standing, whether or not you agree with the assassination attempt or disagree with it?
I just don't see that being the truth, but that's my. I'd rather just not make any comment.
Really quick, what are you talking about the truth? What do you mean? Oh, you just don't believe it was an assassination attempt?
No.
Please don't. We're so anti-Trump. I don't even want to.
Was it a bad thing though?
I mean,
Was it a bad thing? Would you condemn it?
Oh, that he got shot at? Of course.
Yeah, you never
Right.
do that.
Of
That's all.
course, you don't do that.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's really bad. No matter, yeah, exactly. You don't do that. Was it staged? Probably.
Staged?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think Trump maybe staged a fake assassination for support?
So yeah, that was the same protocol as any other time I've ever went to go see Trump myself. So that was no different.
The guy breeds hate.
How? He invited
Listen to
400
him.
black kids to hear him speak, and then we go online and we're just being told that, oh, we're paid to be there. Oh, we're just a bunch of
He
just
probably
insert
paid them all
slurs.
to be there too.
I was there, so you're telling me that I got paid to go to the White House?
I don't know, did you?
No.
Well,
So why would you think that I got paid to go there? Do you think that's a little like
I don't know. I
offensive? No.
can't.
Why can't black people think for themselves? Why do you think if you see 400 black kids in the East Wing in the White House, they were paid to be there instead of thinking for themselves? Because you wouldn't have that thought under Obama. So why is it that young black kids can't go to the White House to hear Trump? Why is all of a sudden that I'm paid to be there? Why do you have that assumption? Do you not think that that's
They
wrong or
would have
that's
to pay
offensive?
me to be there.
I am really curious though, if you answer that question.
Would you think that under Obama, that I was paid to be there?
No.
So why do you think that I'm getting paid? Do you not think it's a little like offensive, a little racist to assume that, oh, me being in the White House under Trump, we're just a bunch of paid people?
Trump's racist.
To
I don't
who?
want-
How are you telling me that he's racist? Have you met him?
No, I don't want to.
So are you gonna just throw these? This is why it's important to me, because when you're telling these things like, this is racist, this actually takes away from things that are actually racist. And it's hard for me as a black man to sit here and say,
That's a
yes,
fact.
this president that invited 400 black kids to hear him speak and invite to the White House, that man's racist. shook everybody's hands, had everybody in there listen to him speak, didn't say anything inflammatory. How is a man, that's a bad racist to me.
I want to know, are you excited about Kamala Harris running for president?
I am ecstatic.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
I am.
It's amazing that we live in a time where there's an opportunity to have a female president.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely,
Now,
100%.
when it comes to Kamala Harris, obviously.
Hey, the reason why I let this dude, bro, because in his content is because, like, he's genuinely a good dude, right? And he's genuinely asking people, like, he really wants to know what people think, right? And they be falling for the setup, though. He definitely be setting them up really good, though.
Obviously, she's been VP the last 3.5 years. What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as VP of the United States?
Honestly, I can't answer that question.
You know, honestly, that's a good question. I can't really say specifically.
I can't,
I can't think
I'm
right
humble
now.
there.
What do you guys think?
I can't think of anything, specifically.
Do you see her as representing the black community or no?
No, I don't see her representing America. See, America was built on spiritual principles. Them forefathers came over here, they built on some spiritual stuff here, all right? And our spirituality is going out the door. If you choose to be gay and you're gay, I got gay friends. I got people in my family gay. But that transgender bull, that's got to go.
Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
The debate? I kind of worry about that. Look, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. She could run over a child live on TV. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm never going to vote for Trump.
Bro, this is out of control, bro. He said that she can run over a kid on live TV. Like, bro, it don't get more delusional than this, bro.
That's gnarly.
But the fact is, even though I think she'll make a good president, she's not a good candidate. If you remember from when she ran before, she tends to get real irritated with stuff she doesn't like. She's not real fast on her feet. Maybe she's better now, but live events, things like that, I don't know, man. I don't think she's going to do so well in the debate.
You guys are in the perfect attire. we got the Kamala Harris merch right here.
Absolutely.
Hey, yo, I seen this before. This.
Voting for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Are you kidding?
Look at
Kamala Harris.
Look how excited he is. He's so excited. They're so excited.
What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as Vice President of the United States?
As Vice President of the United States, she was bold enough to go to the border and tell people to stay home. The Biden administration inherited that border crisis. You remember the one that Trump said that he was going to build a big wall? I think he made it about 5 feet. When Donald Trump...
How did they inherit the border crisis, if you don't mind me asking?
Refused to put out that vaccine for the coronavirus and killed some 658,000 people. My friends that I went to college with also included. When that happened,
hold on,
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came in office and
they saved the day. Look how
big
serious
wall.
this
I
dude
think he
is.
made it about 5 feet.
Hey, yo. You see
When
what I was
Donald
saying?
Trump,
Like, he'll put the facts up on the screen.
If you don't mind me asking.
Refused to put out that vaccine for the coronavirus and killed some 658,000 people.
Vaccinations, what is this? I wanted to read it. So vaccinations in the United States began on December. Oh, okay.
My friends that I went to college with also included. When that happened, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came in office and put that vaccine out. So let's stop playing. This is not a game.
Hey, yo, this dude is crazy, bro.
And guess what? This is about lives.
Do you mind if I touch on the border crisis, though?
He don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear nothing.
And I got
no.
Look, and I got
Trump
you
would be
with
better
that.
for the economy than Kamala, though?
I feel like Trump will be better than every candidate for the economy, period, in the last like 10 years. I ain't gonna lie.
Come on.
He did so much in 4 years, like, nigga almost did more than Obama. I ain't gonna lie, Obama black.
Oh, God. That's the Obama phone right there.
Who's more black, Donald Trump or Barack Obama?
I ain't gonna lie. I think Barack, he be letting me down. He more white than Trump. Trump got a little hood in him.
Many people are saying this.
I ain't gonna lie, when he got shot, he did this. I'm like, he a thug. He was like,
When we're talking about the economy specifically, what would you tell people?
Carryover from the last administration.
So you're saying it was good?
No, it was. Yeah. Well, I'm saying he inherited a bad economy and had to build it up. It takes time.
What about the economy the last 3.5 years? Has it been good?
It has been good. The GDP has been increasing at a rate of about 3% quarter after quarter. My 401k is on fire right now.
I'm f***ing broke. I need to buy a house and I can't afford it. That's it.
I'm 16. I can't even vote. But when I'm older, I want to buy a house. And if Kamala Harris is president, I'm not going to be able to do that.
What would you tell them to convince them that, 4 more years of this is better for them than Trump?
Do you want somebody that sounds like an idiot every day on the news? I don't. I can't listen to it anymore. Are you guys Trumpers?
Me? I'm definitely going to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, we all okay, go ahead. You know what? I needed an erasure.
Yo.
Were you always a Republican, or have you voted Democrat?
I am
where are you at?
Democrat.
You're a Democrat.
But I changed to Republican. I love that man. I love him.
If he was here right now, what would your message to him be?
Mr. Trump, make America great again, as you promised. Secure the borders. Build our military, make our military stronger again. Build the economy. I love you, and I'm praying for you every day. You will make America great again.
We're here in the Bronx. What was worse for, the border crisis under Trump's administration that isn't worse now? Because it seems as though by every available metric, it's been worse the last 3.5 years. But what do you
You're a Trump
think?
supporter, and I get that. I get that. No, that's okay. It's okay. I would rather.
I could be conservative. I could be libertarian. I could be conservative. But this, I think, is just objectively true. What do you think?
If you want to have an open conversation, and that's what Trump needs to do, then I'm open for conversation.
Do you mind if, just answering that one question though? Why? Okay, thank you. Stop what?
Just stop. Stop bothering people. Stop.
You guys approached me. Hey, stay away from the camera. You guys approached me. Well, you guys, that is what happens when you ask pretty basic questions, I guess. That's where we're at nowadays. Asking, okay, well, what was worse under Donald Trump compared to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with the border crisis? What was worse? Fairly basic question. But hey, I guess that warrants assault.
And they knew the only way they can keep that money, because that check was written to Biden and Harris. You couldn't bring nobody else in to get that money. So they're like, we forced her in. They didn't like her in 2016, no, in 2020 when she ran, and they didn't even like her as vice president, but she was forced in that position. We got a guy that's running, he ain't forced to do this. He don't have to do this. You don't get 3 attempts on your life and continue to do this.
Yeah. What would most people be doing if that was the case, if they were a billionaire? Perhaps on a yacht somewhere.
They would have quit. After the first bullet, they quit.
This is Rogelio de la Vega.
That's a fact.
Rogelio de la Vega.
He's named after a telenovela star.
Do you know who he's voting for?
Well, I'm a childless cat lady, so Kamala is the obvious choice. Yeah, I've already voted for her yesterday.
Does the cat agree, though?
Yeah.
The cat might be a secret Trump supporter. You'd have to ask.
No.
You'd have to ask.
No, he's definitely not.
Yeah.
He's Latino and he's gay.
He's Latino and he's gay, huh?
Gay cat.
For sure.
You got a gay cat.
Yeah. It runs in the family.
Oh my yeah, so we're talking to people, actually, I've never been in Atlanta. We're talking to voters. Obviously, it's a crucial swing state. He's voting for Trump. I'm undecided at the moment. And then we're trying to figure out where people are leaning. So why are you voting for Kamala?
I'm sorry, I literally can't understand how you could be undecided. This man tried to start a freaking war with Canada.
With Canada?
He wants to institute a national abortion ban.
Not true.
Yes, it is. And also, they're pulling back.
Show me where he said that.
Girl,
Again, not
I
true.
am not talking to you. I am talking to him.
You're talking to both of us.
She gonna say, girl, look, but he did that on purpose though, because he know he voting for Trump. But he said he's voting for Trump. I'm undecided, and you're voting for Kamala. And the moment he said that he was voting for Trump, she automatically was like disgusted. She couldn't believe it.
Well, no, you're fine. Well, do you mind elaborating on those? The Canadian war? Thank you. I was like, if I say
But look, look. I told her, look, I ain't even watched this video. Look,
maybe she'll work with us on it. You know,
look.
try to convince me, right?
Try to get
I would say,
yo, he's smart though. That was a good one. But yo, it just, bro, these people don't care. They don't even want to talk. When you ask them a question, they don't know the answer, so they're going to get mad because they don't know.
you know, I'm looking at the state of the country right now as a Trump supporter, and I'm looking at the economy. I'm looking at the border that's wide open, and I understand that I'm a man, but my issue or my views on abortion aside, I wouldn't even consider that one of the top 5 issues that the country's facing.
No, it's not, but the country wasn't in a good state when he was president. Look how he handled, you know, COVID. That was a disaster. And he got the drugs, he got healed, half the world died. So.
Half the world died? We lost 4 billion people?
Yeah, well, it spread everywhere.
And then we lost the 4 billion people.
Well, he's alive, so...
Thank God. I know, they're shooting at him now. He can dodge bullets, apparently. I mean, the man is just unstoppable. That's why I'm voting for him.
I know, but I'm a Christian, and I believe in God, and I don't...
You're a pro-abortion Christian?
Here outside of Madison Square Garden.
Already.
I want you to take a step back.
Trump is a liar. Trump's gonna make America great again.
Let's go, DJT. You know what I see? I see a sea of future Trump supporters.
Trump is a loser.
This is joy. You're experiencing joy right here, the Kamala joy. Look at this guy. Look at this.
Go do your own thing. Go with the Nazis on the other side.
Go with the who?
Go with the Nazis on the other side of the street.
The Nazis? There's black people over there, Hispanics, white people.
You don't need to take these people.
Is this the joy that we've been talking about, calling your political opposition Nazis and trying to jail?
Nazis over there right now. Yeah.
I'm not experiencing a bunch of joy right here. We're going Donald Trump. Do you mind if I ask you why?
Because Kamala is a waste of time.
Fair enough. You guys New Yorkers?
I'm from Florida.
You're from Florida. What about you,
I'm
miss?
a New Yorker, and I'm an immigrant. I know better. I know. I loved him in 2016, loved him in 2020, and it's about time that he actually gets back in office.
For sure.
Like, enough.
Okay, so are you seeing this among your friend groups in New York? I mean, you're obviously, this position is a little bit controversial for New York, I feel like. Perhaps I'm wrong.
No, it is very controversial. We saw like a few cars earlier and it was towards Times Square, and it's the first time that I've ever seen liberal tears live, just because somebody saw Trump flags. Yeah, we literally watched it was insane. But
Did you collect some of the tears?
I wish we would have. I think I could have sold them for a lot of money on eBay. But it was beautiful to see. And I think it's about time that everybody stopped talking about their effing feelings. No one cares.
All right, man. So I'll play a lot of that video, honestly, but you get the point. You're like, you like these 2 women right there. They were obviously Trump supporters, but when you when you see the Trump supporters and you see these people who were at the time trying to vote for Kamala, you see the difference in how they act, how they think. Like you see how them women they actually had something to say, like, because they know what's going on. Like what did she say? I'm an immigrant. I know better. She know what's going on, bro. She know the shit. And a lot of you see all of them. All they doing is just shouting, doing a bunch of dumb shit and walking away. They walking away because they don't know. When he asked some simple questions, bro. The one with the dude that was doing all of that extra shit. I seen that episode that he did, and everything that he asked him about, like he genuinely just was asking him, and the guy didn't have anything. He just kept going against everything he was saying. He wasn't answering no questions. He wasn't like giving any facts or nothing. Nothing was factual. Everything was just his opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, I'll give it to him, bro. They manipulated a nice percent of the country. I would say almost half of the country to hate Donald Trump. Like, people don't even know why they hate Donald Trump. They just hate him. It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. I want to see something real quick. Excuse me. I want to go on Google real quick. So I want to see something. Let me see. Actually, hold on. Actually, let me come out of this. I want to go to Google real quick because, hold on. What major make sure that's up. Yeah. Alright, so Wikipedia. See what comes up. Tenure references. Sure. Oh, this is like a fucking bio or some shit. Damn. It's not what I wanted. You know what, man? Fuck her. Anyway, man. Forget that. I gotta see something. These people are so delusional. Yeah, man, but I really hope I need this one big beautiful bill to pass though, man. For real. I'm really like, cause listen, man, I work a 9 to 5, bro. I need that no tax on overtime, man. I've been busting my ass and they be taking hella money out of my check. It's crazy. But I'm giving myself 2 years, man. 2 years, man, and I'm done. I'm done working for people, man. I'm already done, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do until you get to where you're trying to get to. So let's see something real quick. Cause you like limited on this on the site. Let's see. It says her accomplishments in the House include filing more bills than any other freshman representative, assembling a coalition to pass significant criminal justice reform, increasing accessibility and accountability in her office. Bro, what? That's not an accomplishment, man. Increasing accessibility and accountability in her office, being a founding member of both the Texas Progressive Caucus and the Texas Caucus of Climate, Energy, and Environment. She served as a representative where she was a champion for voting rights and criminal justice reform. She participated in the Texas House quorum break in 2021 to bring attention to voting rights legislation. She also worked as a public defense attorney focusing on civil. I did that because I guarantee you I could literally go to a lot of these people that's in the Democrat Party, like her, like what's his name? A lot of them, man. Forget his name. Who cares? My what's the name is glitching right now. I'm watching it live. It's glitching. In the way, man. What the hell? Right at the end of the stream. Right at the end of the stream, it wants to act up. In a way. But whatever. Good thing we was at the end of the stream. It is what it is. But yeah, man. Point of the whole video is that these people are delusional, bro. And people need to wake up. Seriously. Really need to. There it go. There go the connection. It's good. It's good again. We're back. People need to wake up, bro, because everything that they doing is everything that's going to like affect Americans in a bad and negative way. And I just don't see why people. It's just literally like people are willing to struggle. People are willing to pay more taxes. People are willing to pay more in gas and groceries just to go against Donald Trump. And to me, it's like, come on, you sir. Like, what benefit does that have for you and your family? None. And most of these people, they're not gonna go like people are saying, man, the one big beautiful bill isn't a good bill, and then you ask them why, and they can't tell you because they didn't read anything in it. I keep talking about the no tax on overtime because I work a 9 to 5, and I do overtime. So I need that. That's a lot of money. A lot of money depending on how much overtime you do throughout the year. Now, the messed up part is come taxes, depending on what you make, you can end up owing. So you got to be careful, man. And that's why it's so important. Like, for me, these last 2 years, I would say, yeah, the last 2 years, I've been just doing a lot of work on myself as far as learning about taxes, learning about business, learning about how to use your LLC to benefit you when taxes do come around and things like that. You know, it's a lot of things that us as the average people just don't know about because we uneducated and we don't want to know. A lot of people don't give a fuck about the tax code. They don't care about laws. They don't care about none of that. And that's the reason why we're at the bottom of the totem pole, especially as black people. Because we're uneducated and we don't want to know. We don't want to learn. We don't want to get educated on these things. Instead, we want to talk about how, you know, these rich people are taking advantage of us and this and that and the third. No, they're not. They took advantage of their education. And most of them, their education came from experience and learning and getting into it and taking risk. Because a lot of billionaires didn't go to school, bro. They didn't go to college. A lot of them. They got it out the mud. You know what I mean? And they got to where they got to because they learned business. They failed a bunch of times, and you know, until they got it right. And that's where I'm at. We got one life to live. Motherfuckers be out here caring about, you know, I know like my peoples, he got a very good credit score and he doesn't take advantage of it, you know, like he should. And hopefully he do. Maybe he got a plan. I don't know. But, you know, we just ain't taking advantage because, and I get it because we don't be having the information, you know. But I got one life to live, man. So I'm gonna take the risk. I don't care. Just like with this podcast. This time last year, I was doing clothes. I was doing embroidery. You know, I got into that, you know, started an LLC, started doing clothes. I still got my LLC. And I just put it on hold because for one, it was post-pandemic, and when I started it, a lot of people is not financially stable, and it just wasn't beneficial, especially going up against other printing companies that are way bigger than what I was. You know, I was small, so I just looked at it like I need to get, but I learned so much from that. So I'm like, I need to get into a business where I can benefit. I don't have to use a lot of capital in order to get to the money. With this is mainly just time and consistency. So that's why I got into the podcasting, man. But I wouldn't have never even got here if I didn't educate myself on what an LLC is, about business, about taxable income, about things that you can use to write off for your business and things like that. It's so many different things that it's not rocket science, though. We can all learn it. We can all, get money. But instead, we want to stay at the bottom of the barrel. We want to stay with the victim mindset. And that's why we losing, man. And I say all that to say this, man. We gotta wake the fuck up. And I'm hoping that this bill passed because it's gonna benefit me. It's gonna help me get better equipment. It's gonna help me get in a better position. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, I've been doing. We're an hour and a half in. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, man. If y'all. I know y'all fucking with the content. You better be. You ain't got no fucking choice but to fuck with my shit. So make sure you hit that motherfucking like button, because I said so. And hit that motherfucking subscribe button, because you want to. And I truly, truly appreciate it. And I love y'all, man. I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.